Well, I think for me, the reason I wanted to be part of the Food Basket Challenge is because when I saw people doing it last year, actually, I was like, I want to do that. The reasons I want to do it is, well, what I said in my bio too is that as someone who's been pretty weight conscious her whole life, I'm always thinking about my weight. It's always haunted me that, I'm struggling not to overeat, and there's people that are starving. And I think that it's just so easy to keep that a shadow in the back of my mind, and I want to look this goal straight in the face, and I want to learn more about it and make it a reality. So for a long time, this is so hard to talk about, but I feel like I'm going to need to get comfortable talking about it if I'm going to do this challenge and sort of try to represent people who have intolerances. So I don't eat dairy, I don't eat gluten. I've actually recently quit coffee too because I've always had a very sensitive stomach, and it took a long time to figure out why I was walking around with my belly like out to here every day and always in a lot of pain. My stomach always hurt. And eventually, once I cut gluten out of my diet, I realized that's what was causing the pain. So taking this challenge is going to be really interesting because I've read some of the blogs from last year. I've read about some people's basket, even the basket they brought to me at the station to show me. Half of it has wheat products in it, stuff I won't be able to eat. So they give me a meager amount of food, but then half of it immediately is off my plate. And the dairy, I can't really eat dairy. I will, and I'll be in pain. But gluten is something that I feel actually damages my body. I'm not sure if I'm celiac, but it feels like it's doing something incredibly painful to me. So I won't crack on that. So what happens when there are people like me who can't afford to buy the fancy food that I do, because I buy quinoa and brown rice flour and gluten-free schwa, like fancy stuff, right? And I eat basically like a regular person or have a normal diet. What happens when that's unavailable? I guess I'm gonna have to find out. Even just like a lot of free food that comes your way too, donuts, sandwiches, I can't eat that stuff. So even if I go to the food bank, if I go to the Friendship Inn, there's a chance that I won't even be able to eat the meal that they give me. Okay, so here's like one thing, like this is what I don't drink milk. I drink almond milk. This is $5 a container. So obviously, like I get $5 every week. I'm not gonna spend it on that. Like I feel like I'm a food snob. I never really thought about it, but it's like I've got these like omega-3 free-range eggs and like organic yogurt and just like organic peanut butter and like these gluten-free tortillas that are really expensive. And I just feel, and I'll show you too, like something as simple as like oats. I can't eat oats, so I have to buy like gluten-free specialty oats, and everything like costs this much more. And I always say that like I'm not a person with expensive taste, but I guess I do have expensive food tastes. And so it's going to be interesting to like have all these things taken away from me, because I'm someone who like I feel like I've worked really hard my whole life to become a really healthy person. I exercise like probably 5 times a week. I'm not going to be able to do that on the challenge because I won't have energy for it. And I also try to eat as healthy as possible and get as many nutrients in each day. And that's also not going to be possible. So I'm interested not only how that's going to affect my body, but also my mental fatigue. Now, this challenge, though, it's not really fair because we're only doing it for a week. And like me and one of the other contestants already planned to have a sleepover once over and pig out. So it's like, we don't really get to know what it is like. But already it's making a difference in my life in that I look at things and I think, I'm really grateful that I have this opportunity to have this food available to me. I made supper for my parents today. They came over, and I felt really glad that I was able to treat them to dinner and feed them, which is like, we don't think of food, like food is available to me at all times. I have to never worry about that. So it's going to be interesting, and I think really difficult and heartbreaking to see what it's like when it's not. Well, something that I've been really worrying about with this challenge is coming across as insensitive, because the more that I read the blogs from last year and learn about the positions of the people that we're trying to replicate, I guess, the more I realize how privileged I actually am. And I know we're not fully experiencing there's no way we could, you know, experience what someone in poverty does. But I worry that I will come across as insensitive by having omega-3 eggs in my fridge. Like I already feel like such an a-hole about that. So but what I'm hoping to is just to be humbled and to learn.